Hi, welcome back to another episode of Girls, 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 and today I'm being joined by
Xue Yan.
Yeah. So give a brief general introduction of yourself. Who are you? What do you do? That kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm a commercial real estate lawyer at Borden Ladner Gervais, or you can call BLG, one of the biggest national firms in Canada. I practice commercial real estate law and deals with files like purchasing or selling commercial buildings, office buildings, shopping centers, hotels. I also assist the client with real estate investment and help them pull in real estate funds to make investment in all kinds of commercial real properties.
Yeah, super cool stuff.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I think I wasn't planning to go into this area, but it turns out it's great. Like, I really enjoy being a commercial real estate lawyer. Yeah.
So moving on to the questions. First one, if you were any fictional character, who would you be?
Like, there's a part of me inside of me is always like a little child. I like a lot of cartoon character, and I don't know if you're familiar with this Japanese cartoon character, Issho. It's a little monk.
Yes, I know.
It's a little monk that he always comes up with this most creative solutions to all the problems, and all he needs is he sit down and do some meditation, and he'll come up with the solution. And I was obsessed with that show since I was a little kid. I think it's kind of relates to the work I'm doing. You always have to come up with creative solutions for the client's problems. So, yeah, I think that I would like to be that monk, little monk issue.
That's cute. So the more serious questions now.
Okay.
In your opinion, what is the best and worst part about being a girl?
It's very difficult for me to answer that question, only because I personally do not like to focus too much on gender differences.
Yes.
So if you allow me, I like to rephrase that question. What is the best or worst part of being a young kid in today's world? I think everybody has their own different personal challenges. They have a different upbringings, and they have different platforms, and everybody's different. And I think the same applies to boys as well. And just use a very notable challenge, I think, to most of the kids or young adults today is, on the one hand, we're incredibly connected with each other by way of the advance of technology. Just like your YouTube channel, and you get to speak to the people, connect with the people that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. You share your insights, you share your experiences, your thoughts, and express your opinions through those channels very easily. I think that's a good thing. That's the best part of living in today's world. We can connect so many ways with different people. And the other side of that coin is that you get influenced by so much more pressure from the rest of the world, and the media dictates almost in every aspect of your life what your life should be looking like. And all that pressure, especially when we are growing up, we really need a lot of guidance, but then when you are overwhelmed by those pressure, you don't know where you are, where you should be. I think it's incredibly important for younger person to, in the age of this technology, really to maintain who you are, knows exactly who you are.
Yeah, that's great. So what is your definition of success, and do you think you've achieved it?
That's a very grand question. I think a success, in my view, there's two dimensions to the word success. I think one is how you relate to other people, and the other is how you relate to yourself, right? Like, in my opinion, a successful person is someone who is independent and at the same time add value to other people's life. And you make the world a better. I think that has to be one dimension to the success. If we cannot be isolated, just being me, and doing the self-improvement without thinking about other people. And the second aspect to the success, I think, how you relate to yourself. I wanted to stress is you can compare your success to other people's success. You always say, oh, why this person makes much more money than me? Why her life is so perfect, right? It's hard because something in your life you take for granted, maybe something in other people's life, people have to fight hard for it.
Yeah.
So I think the only way to define the success for yourself is to see if I'm better than yesterday. Every day you're a better self.
Yeah.
That to me, I think that's a success. So am I successful? I think I am adding value to other people. I hope like I'm every day. I think I'm better than say 10 years ago as a person. I'm more mature, more wiser. So I would like to consider myself to be successful in my own definitions, not by money or social status, all that kind of, a lot of people will think, yeah.
I think that's a good thing to live by. Yeah. So who or what inspires you?
I know there's a lot of well-known politicians, philosophers, teachers, academics that we like to, at one point, one way or another, inspires us at one point of our life. But what inspired me most, who inspired me most, are the people who are actually surrounding me. Like I see how hard they work, and especially people, they do whatever it takes to achieve their goals, to pursue their dreams. Like a friend of mine could quit her high-paid corporate work to start her own business, become a writer, completely start fresh. You know what the writer's life is like. Has absolutely no stable income at all for the first few years, because that's her dream and she pursued that, and I admire her for that. And I also know a person, my former colleague, she comes to work 9 to 5, do her work, what seems to be very boring, mundane, routine work. And at nighttime on the weekend, she go to school and finish her master's degree, all because she wants to be a therapist at the end of it. And she is, I think, certified. So when that time comes, she quit her daytime job, she becomes, so those people really admire me most, because they're risk takers and they know what they want and they go for it no matter what. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. So what is your biggest regret?
My biggest regret, I don't think I have many regrets. I made a lot of mistakes along the way. Everybody makes mistakes. I learn from it. I think for young people, it's almost like, I think it's fair to say we're entitled to make mistakes in order to learn, right? Yeah. So I don't consider those to be regrets, but the only one regret, it's probably part of my culture is like, I'm very close to my parents. My parents are still live in China, so I'm very far away from them. 20 years ago, I was anxious to leave home, to start my own, my own world. I don't really want my parents to be inside. I want to do my own thing, has that freedom. But when I get older, I realize that part of a bond, like it's really hard to part with. When they are getting older, I feel like I can't really spend as much time as I could, because there's ocean between us. Yeah. I try to go home often, at least once a year, to see them, but still, I think that's the only regret. But I wouldn't do anything different if I had a choice, just because, it's a part of growth. Like you grow, you have to do that and come. That's my dream, to come here to study and to become a lawyer, so it's part and parcel of it. Yeah,
exactly. And everything you've done in the past leads to where you are now. So I think
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So what is your proudest achievement?
Kind of related to your question about the biggest regret. I think my proudest achievement is becoming a lawyer in Canada with my own financial means. I didn't spend a penny from home or my parents. I supported myself going through law school and get called to the bar and find a job. And I remember I came to Canada about almost 20 years ago. I did a little grad studies, and then by the time I decided to go to law school, I only had probably about 5,000, even less, Canadian dollars in my bank account under my name. While a U of T law school tuition is $18,000 a year.
Oh my gosh.
At that time, now I know it's even higher. Yeah. But I still think this is what I want to do, I will do it. And I worked through the semesters, and I got a summer job, and I basically support myself through the school, and I got called to the bar. Like, this is something, if you ask me 20 or 25 years ago when I was in China, what I ever to do, I say no. I lived a very sheltered life in China. Like my parents are basically provide for everything. Like all I need to do is study, get a good grades. I don't have to worry about anything else. Like it was, I would call a privileged life, but that's a part of growth you have to. I did grow a lot when I came to Canada because now I'm on my own. So that will be my proudest achievement, I think, be called to the bar here. Yeah. So far, I hope there's a bigger one down the road.
That's really insane. Like that takes a lot of guts to do.
Yeah, a risk. And at that time, I think, what's there to lose, right? There's also like a worst comes to worst, going home. Like there's always home, right? Yeah. So my proudest achievement so far also is my biggest investment, like the best investment I think I invested. I took bank loans. I do whatever it takes, but I pay them off through so within the first 2 years. So it was pretty good. I think it's kind of going back to say you just have to know what you want and you stick with it. Yeah.
It's cool. Like for me, a bunch of my friends, like we all want to go to the US, but our parents are in Canada. So it's not as much of a cultural shift as like China to Canada, but
yeah, but you gain the independence being away from home at the same time, you know. It was a big leap for me, but it was like the best. I don't think I will ever grow up if I stay there. Yeah.
So what is your advice to younger girls out there, especially those who want careers in your profession?
I will start to say that law is not an easy profession. A lot of younger kids, if you don't have a lawyer in your family, and the impression they got is from watching the U.S., the legal dramas, and I have to say, like a lawyer's life is not as glamorous, and we do have nice views and all this nice, like from outside looks all polished and everything, but you do have to spend long hours in the boardroom, long hours in the office. They're not kidding when they say long hours, right? You have to, like as a junior lawyer or law student, you just have to do your homework, put your heads down. Don't pick on the assignment. Sometimes assignment I have done like most boring assignment ever, to the point I question like I didn't go to law school for this, right? Like why did you? But you just have to go through all that in order to really learn the trick, like the little details. Then when you become senior, you get to have a bigger picture, what is important, what is not. It's a hard profession, but I think if you're really interested in law, at the same time, it's also very rewarding intellectually. So I think it's a good profession. If I'm gonna advise I have my kids too, the only thing is you only go into the law if you really love it. Like I do love the intellectual part of being a lawyer, and you being challenged with different legal problems every day. Like you just never get bored. Yeah.
It's really cool. Okay, thank you so much for meeting with me and taking the time.
You're welcome. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to join you for your project.
Thank you.
Thank you.